이게 된 건가? 이게 스트리밍이 되고 있는 건가요? 아직 안 됐어. 정말 어렵구면 라이브 짠. 시작이 됐나요? Has it been started? 음. Hi. I think now it started. 어렵네요. Very difficult. Hi, guys. Hey. How are you today? I'm very busy. We'll talk to you next Thursday. Oh, you're busy? How you're gonna talk to me? Hi. Hi, guys. 음, 네. We'll meet you from Chai if you're free. Ah, yes, that's why. I also was very busy. If I have Chai with you, then can I interview? Can I interview you? Ah. Mhm. 네? 그냥 오늘은 이 사람에 대해서 얘기해 보려고. Today I want to talk about him. 잠깐만, 이거 만약에 띄우면, 아, 어떻게 되는 거지? 어, 아, 이럴 수가. You can interview me, but I'm not a movie celebrity. I know you're not a movie celebrity, but it's okay. We can talk. It will be interesting. Okay. Uh, Give me 1 or 2 minutes more. Today, I actually wanted to talk about successful CEO of India so that I can also learn and inspired, and you guys also can maybe talk with me. That's what for today. Mm, yep, yep, yep. Okay. Okay,
So,
one
Vishal, can
more
you really
minute.
activate your natural healing system and manage lifestyle diseases just through natural methods and diet?
Of course. See, there
There's a advertisement coming. Okay.
84.
Hi, guys. Uh, it's 8 p.m. now. What are you guys are doing usually at this timing? Hi, Onni. Hi. Do you guys know the wording Onni? Hello. What are you guys are doing at 8 p.m. usually? Are you guys having dinner or what? Mm. How is your day? It was great today. Actually not great because these days it's end of this month is for closing the accounting in we need to report annual filings. So I was so busy entering data and tally entry, settling down. 안녕하세요. Hello, I'm Indian. Hi, you know about the Luxim, a Korean comic book written by PTJ? No, what is Luxim? Having a dinner now. Great. What is your dinner menu? I'm good. I think it's very busy. It's January, right? But I feel happy that I have lots of work. I'm a workaholic, I think. So it's happy that I'm having some works to do. So it's January, so many new companies are coming to India and the people are starting new thing. That is making me so excited, I guess. Yeah, so another 2 minutes. Let me start a topic for CEO in India because I wanted to be, there are lots of inspiring people in India. So I kind of wanted to learn how Indian people are motivating by themselves and what kind of cultural motivations are there. Maybe it would be very different because in Korea, people are motivated by each other, I think each other. So, and social the societies are making us to push ourselves more. But I think India must be a little different. So I wanted to learn about that culture, that how people are motivated in India. So I selected subject for this. So maybe I will watch his story. I don't know whether you guys know him or not, but I want to watch his story. And if there is something to learn and something new, then I kind of wanted to apply to myself. So today's dinner, what about you? I had a noodle today's dinner. Curry with Korean noodle. You look like big sister of Wonyoung. Big sister of Wonyoung? I don't know her face. Ah. Okay, guys, let me start. I also need to study. So let me start and learn about India, how you guys are being motivated.
It's 1984. A 12-year-old boy falls asleep on the dusty floor of a shared two-bedroom apartment in India.
He's actually Google CEO. I think you guys know him, right? Everyone must be knowing him. Uh, one of the biggest company in the world, and one Indian boy was boy, but now became CEO. So I wanted to learn about his life, so that's why I'm playing this.
Little does he know, he will one day become the CEO of one of the biggest tech companies in the world, Google. Now you might be wondering, how?
How?
You see, in a few short years, his father will take a gamble that will cost the family their life savings. The young boy's name is Sundar Pichai.
Sundar.
He would go on to reinvent Google, challenging his superiors and creating one of their most impactful inventions to date. Sundar developed an interest in technology very early on. His life changed drastically in 1982 with the purchase of his family's first rotary phone. It showed the power of what's possible with technology. The phone also made life a lot easier. At the time, he would have to board a bus and travel for over an hour to a hospital to get results for his mother's blood tests. He'd wait for another hour in line only to be told the results weren't ready and to try again another day. Now, with one simple call, he was able to avoid the nearly 4-hour long journey, replacing it with a mere 10-minute chat on the phone.
Wow, I have no premiere in YouTube, so I need to see the advertisement, it seems.
Prompt engineers are
Okay,
getting
let
paid
me see
3 crore
advertisement
rupees in
also.
United States, and in India they are getting paid 70 and a half.
The more access my family had to technology,
Technology,
the
the
better
better
our lives got.
Right.
So when I graduated, I knew I wanted to do something to bring technology to as many others as possible.
The
That is quite surprising for me. It is quite surprising for me that, um, anyhow, he born in India. He born in India, nothing related to United States and Google, but somewhat this small thought is making him to start his journey. That is quite surprising uh, thing, I guess.
boy's interest in technology became more specific when he was introduced to the world of semiconductors.
Semiconductor.
He began to read books on an inventor of the technology, William Shockley, and the work he was doing in Silicon Valley. He knew where the action, the development of his interests were taking place. He just needed to get there. It was with a deep passion and promises of the future that he got to work. Sundar began by earning a degree in metallurgical engineering from IIT. It wasn't
IIT student. He was IIT student, right? IIT is most biggest university in India, isn't it?
smooth sailing right off the bat.
I heard it's very difficult to enter IIT though. Is it possible foreigner also study in IIT or allowed in India? I don't know, but I heard it's very difficult.
My first year CGP was so bad, I had to work hard to make up for it for the next 3 years. But
It was also
ultimately,
human
after hunkering down and working hard, IIT set him on a course that would have huge impact on his future. It wasn't only the place where he met his girlfriend Anjali, whom he would go on to marry in 2008 and share 2 children with. It's also where he was awarded a life-changing scholarship to Stanford University.
Okay, he went to Stanford University after that. Yes, it's actually very difficult. I heard that. I'm asking to everyone who ever studying in the engineering part, I'm asking to the students, do you want to go to IIT? Then everyone answering that it's almost impossible, something like that. Then how those people who entered IIT? From Assam. I like Assam tea. I wanted to go to North India, Assam, and other side. I've never been there. One day I will go there. Yeah, let me go on.
Sundar's hard work and determination were beginning to pay off, propelling him one step closer to his visions of Silicon Valley.
Okay, he
But
went
getting
to
this
Silicon
scholarship wasn't the hardest part. Physically getting himself from India all the way to America would prove to be much more challenging. His father, Raghunatha, needed to come up with more than his annual salary in order to make the trip possible for his son. 1,000 American dollars. He first tried getting a loan, but when that fell through, he resorted to the last possible option. Unwilling to let this moment pass his son by, Raghunatha took the money from his family's savings. Sundar was taking this opportunity one way or another. And so, in 1993, after his long-awaited first ever plane ride, suitcase in hand, Sundar landed in America.
Wow, this is really surprising. Now I don't think it's imaginable that Google CEO does not have enough money. So, or family need to figure to uh, fly over to America. Now it's no need to worry about and all impossible thing to think about. But his beginning was from very small, it seems. But it's eye-opening that that much investment has been decided by himself and by his family, and try to keep it up for him. That is quite impressive, I think.
When Sundar Pichai took the reins as CEO of Google in October 2015, Google's stock price sat at just $36 per share. 7 years later, it had reached $96 per share,
Wow.
netting a
We should
15%
have bought
annualized
that Google
return for
share before.
shareholders. That kind of return is why Pichai is considered one of the top CEOs of our time. However, like most other tech stocks, Google has gotten hammered over the last year, down close to 30%. Now, what if I told you another asset class that nearly matched Google's stellar performance, but that's actually remained strong even through 2022? This asset's prices have appreciated nearly 14% per year over the last 26 years, beating the S&P 500 by a stunning 131%. You might be surprised to hear, but that asset is contemporary art, now accessible to you thanks to our sponsor Masterworks, the art investing platform. While many investors' portfolios were getting crushed in 2022, Masterworks investors realized 9 returns, earning investors 13.9, 35, and 10.4% on the last 3. What Masterworks does to help you get into this asset class is genius. They buy high-end art pieces, securitize them, and allow you to buy into them with shares. There's usually a long wait list to join Masterworks, and offerings can sell out in just minutes on their platform. However, because we've partnered with them, you can skip that wait
I
list
think this
right
is
now by
somewhat
clicking the link in the description below.
advertisement of Masterworks too. Okay, another advertisement started. What is this? What is this? Hi. This advertisement was also interesting for me. Kenya, I need to.
The weight of his father's financial risk on
Really sorry from behalf of Bangalore people who harassed us. Yes. You know that news. Yes. Actually, every Korean knows that it's sad.
his heart and mind, he emerged from the plane. Looking up at the Californian sunshine, he knew he was stepping another foot closer to his dreams. Until something hit him. Culture shock. He was astounded to find that a phone call back home would cost him $2 per minute. And then there was a backpack. He needed it for school and came across one with an alarming price tag, $60. A normal price for a decent backpack, but for Sundar, $60 was the equivalent of a month's worth of his father's income. So
I think his success story is a really impossible thing, I feel. Because he's saying like $60 backpack is impossible for him to buy that time. Now he's a CEO. So I think it's really amazing he achieved. Hello, sister.
you can understand Sundar's shock when he came across that first backpack. Eventually, he found a much cheaper one through an online bulletin board. He was not going to take this opportunity of his for granted. He was going to succeed in America, and his perseverance and passion would carry him through this next chapter. As Sundar walked into one of the numerous computer-filled labs at Stanford, he was reminded of the importance of people's access to technology and its effect on their lives. As he spent hours working in the labs, the internet was developing all around him. In 1995, Sundar graduated from Stanford with a
I think at the same time, important thing is what kind of surrounding and what kind of environment I need to make for myself being surrounded. I think that is most important because if he stayed in India, then I don't think he got opportunity to become a Google CEO. But because though it's a culture shock and though it's very challenging decision, but since because he decided to go USA and being there and be and persist in there, I think that is the reason he got the opportunity. So I don't think it's just a luck he got. He created that path by himself. That is, I think, challenging point and
master's
quite
in material
inspiring.
science and engineering. Much to his parents' disappointment at the time, he did not return to Stanford upon graduation to obtain a doctorate. Instead, he kept his sights on his goal of working hands-on in the tech industry. He got a job working in engineering and product management at Applied Materials, an American semiconductor chip manufacturing corporation. He was now a working professional in California, more specifically in Silicon Valley, the destination he spent so many days and nights dreaming about reaching. But he didn't stop there. It's April Fool's Day, and Sundar, dressed for success, walks into the biggest, most life-changing interview of his career. But something big within the company is taking place today: the launch of Gmail.
Wow,
Sundar
Gmail
isn't
has
aware of
launched
this,
this,
and upon finding out, passes it off as one of Google's infamous pranks. Google had been known to be a fan of April Fools and had pulled pranks on the general public through fictitious advertisements. To name one of many, there was the Mental Plex prank of 2000 that asked users to think of what they were in search of while staring at an animated GIF, with several funny error messages appearing as a result. Thankfully, when he admits this, it doesn't come as a disadvantage to him. Quite the opposite. His ignorance leaves Google's senior VP of People Operations remembering Sundar to have intellectual humility, a trait he's looking for in the perfect candidate. And as a result, Sundar is hired. He will join Google as the Vice President of Product Management and Development. His hard work is finally paying off. He's entering into a position that is better than anything he had dreamed of before.
I did feel like when I first went to Google, I was like a kid in a candy store.
But he wanted more. He continued to climb his way up within Google, working hard and taking every possible opportunity for growth that came along.
Another thing I've noticed over time is you will have many opportunities to reinvent yourself. And so, so I think
I need to read this. One thing I've noticed over time is you will have many opportunities to reinvent yourself. And so I think it's worthwhile taking risk and trying to do something you're really excited by.
It's worthwhile taking risks and trying to do something you're really, excited by.
His first role was as the leading product manager for the Google Toolbar.
I think that part is missing. He worked in other company, and when he's joining Google, he became a vice president. How it could have been? I think I need to
feature that
figure it out.
streamlined Google's use through its placement in the top right corner of competing web browsers. Despite his experience, he was now a small fish thrown into a big pond and was surrounded.
안녕하세요, sister. How are you? 감사합니다. Why? How are you? And after that, thank you. Oh, a little bit nuts. It's going offline. Okay. Now is it okay? Hopefully it's okay.
By very knowledgeable people with many years in their positions. For many, this would put them off their game, but not Sundar. Working with people who made him feel insecure was right where he wanted to be.
And so there are many times I felt working with people in a group, am I doing enough? These people seem much better than me, and I think that's an inherent part of learning.
Sundar felt that if you are secure in what you're doing, that would mean you're comfortable, and comfort means you're not pushing yourself enough.
Wow, this is really agreeing for this. Like I be in the company, and like I'm also learning, I'm also running one business myself, and as a CEO, if I sometimes feel very comfortable, then I feel and push myself again. No, it cannot be, because I'm not. Still, there are many things to do, more and more. But thankfully, he's talking about the same point, I think. If I feel too secure and if I feel too peaceful, then I don't think there is a growth. So I'm not pushing myself enough, I feel.
Some point in your life, you have to work with people where you feel a bit insecure. Right? That's essential, because that means you're working with people who are better than you and who are pushing you.
His mentality of always being better than he was before and pushing himself past comfort stuck with him as he progressed within Google. Sundar made his first wave when he approached the company's co-founders and made a proposal. He saw an opportunity for growth, a gap in their approach when compared to the competition. Google needed its own web browser, but would the cost outweigh the benefit? CEO Eric Schmidt seemed to think so when Sundar proposed this addition to the company. He dubbed the idea too costly. Without everyone's full support, Sundar was left with only one option.
Oh, so Sundar presented for this web browser to Google? Do you guys know? Okay, another advertisement. I
To
think I'm
try again.
advertising them to you guys.
So he got back to work, crunching numbers and making a case for the new browser. And when he made his second presentation, that was it. He was given a green light. They were going to war. After several years of hard work with Sundar being directly involved in the development of the new software, Google Chrome was released to the public on Labor Day of 2008.
Is it? Wow.
They had finally joined a browser war that had been waging for years between Internet Explorer and Mozilla Firefox. And soon they would defeat them both.
Okay.
By May of
That's why he
2012,
could become
Chrome had
CEO of
overtaken
Google.
both of its rivals and became the most popular web browser in the world, eventually with over 65% of the market. It would also be announced as the new browser for Android devices that same year. Sundar's risk-taking and persistence were not only paying off for him anymore, but was translating into success for Google as a whole.
Yes.
Chrome OS had also come to life along with a line of affordable laptops now known as Chromebooks. The waves Sundar was making were getting him noticed by upper management, but unfortunately for Google, also beyond the confines of the company. It was around this time that he began to be incessantly sought after by Twitter for high-ranking positions within the microblogging company. Thankfully for Sundar, Google was not willing to let him go, offering him a significant financial incentive to stay right where he was.
Wow.
Sundar became one of the most powerful tech executives in the world when he was put in charge of Android and began overseeing Android OS on a global scale. This power move put him in a position to do something he'd been wanting to do since he was a teenager in India, bringing tech to more people globally. And along came Android One. Within a year, it would distribute 1 billion devices worldwide, and in October of 2014, Sundar became the product chief of Google and Android OS, Google Search, Maps, Play, Android, Chrome, Gmail, and Workspace. But soon, everything had the potential to collapse for Google. They were at risk of losing Sundar again, only now to their competition, Microsoft. In 2014, Sundar was widely publicized to become their new CEO. But Google had big plans for him and were unwilling to let him slip away from their grasp. Again, they offered him a hefty financial incentive to stick with them. And then, on October 2nd, 2015, they would make him the new CEO of Google. His many years of persistence and risk-taking had paid off. In July of 2017, he joined the board of directors for Alphabet, Google's parent company. And in 2019, when Google's former CEO stepped down as CEO of Alphabet, he took over the role. He was now the chief executive officer of both Google and Alphabet. Never one to give up or let fear dictate his decisions, Sundar followed his dreams to the very top. He was even awarded the third highest civilian award in India in 2022. As of February 2022, he was recorded as having a net worth of $1.3 billion. Today, he and his wife, college sweetheart Anjali, reside together with their daughter Kavya and son Kiran. Sundar Pichai, who started his journey sleeping on the floor of his family's home in India,
This is, wow. I don't know. This is the reason life is very enjoyable. Who could have expected him to become Google CEO when he was young and being in that circumstances. But somewhat, by him, for every path, he somewhat achieved it. Who would have expected that? So I think that is the reason we are worthy to taking uh, forwarding ourselves in front because there's no limitation for our lives. I think he also I don't think he made limitation for himself. That is the reason he could become the CEO of the biggest company in the world, which is almost impossible dream, but he achieved, and he's alive right there. So this is really inspiring.
India now lives in a $40 million
Yeah, everyone. Let's achieve this. We can also achieve this. Let's dream big. Let's not be just seated down in our current position. Let's try to make it up. And I'm serious about it. For my life also, I'm planning a lot. And I want to try to achieve more and more and trying hard for that.
mansion. The home boasts a tennis court, miniature golf course, swimming pool, and a guest house. His father's gamble had finally paid off. This is the story of how a young boy with big dreams living in a humble life let his perseverance and hard work take him on a journey to become the CEO of one of the largest tech companies in the entire world. Be bold, take risks, be okay with being uncomfortable, but most of all, be persistent.
If the first attempt you don't do it, you can try again. And
If the first attempt you don't do it, you can try again. Things tend to work out in the long run.
things tend to work out in the long run.
Mm, wow. This is really eye-opening. uh, I think the point I liked most is I what I learned from his story. Actually, I want to study a little more because I want to understand how he got and how he could have the persistent perspective. What is it in his own life? There must be some reason in his um, childhood. But anyhow, what I feel is in India, it's not like only me try to do something and try to build myself, but I think families are supporting them. That's what I felt because uh, from many Indian people whom I met, I heard many times that my family supported me to do my scholarship. My family supported me. My sister supported me. So, like this manner, I think that supporting family is quite common in India, I feel, which is good. But at the same time, I feel it's a little